Hello, Money Queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, best-selling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Welcome back, Money Queens, to another episode of Women Behind the Millions, where we talk all things power, pink, and prosperity. Listen up, lady business owners, you boss mamas out there. Tonight is all about you. If you're like me, you got a lot of ideas going on, and you're so busy running the household, running your business, maybe multiple businesses like me, real estate properties, your money, and all of a sudden things get a little too complicated. And you're trying to keep up with what are the expenses, where's the income, how do I pay myself, how do I know if I'm paying myself enough? Most women aren't paying themselves enough, I will say that. We tend to put so much sweat equity where we are just going to put our time into our business. We'll pay ourselves at some point when we hit a certain level. And before you know it, months go by, even years go by, and I haven't given myself a raise. We're going to talk about all of that tonight with tonight's guest. I'm so excited. You'll see on the screen the QR code. Go ahead and scan it, and you're going to get your power guide. This is for you ladies who are thinking about writing your own solo book that we can help you get published at Pick Six Productions. But it is amazing about just finding out who you are, what's your authentic voice, what is that power story. So whether it's in a book or on stage, on a podcast, and honing your power through there. Plus, you also know when you have a new episode coming out here. All right, ladies. So let's talk about tonight's guest. We have with us Danielle Hayden. She's a co-founder and CEO of Kickstart Accounting, Inc., where she helps 6- and 7-figure women entrepreneurs stop winging it with their money and actually understand their numbers. The numbers never lie. She's your non-BS financial co-pilot with the side of let's make this business profitable and fun again. She's got over 15 years of experience in the world of finance. She worked her way from an accounting firm intern to the co-founder of Kickstart Accounting. She now understands how complex business finances can be, and she knows that entrepreneurs, especially women, need more than just a bookkeeper. They need a real financial analysis, support, and even an advocate. So let's bring to stage Danielle Hayden. Hello, Danielle. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for popping on and letting us pick your brain. There's so many questions us business owners want to ask you, and we're going to get into it tonight. First, why accounting and bookkeeping? What drew you into the space?
I've always had a knack for using numbers to hit my goals. So I actually was a creative originally. I started my career behind the chair, doing hair and makeup and nails. So I started my career helping making women feel beautiful. And while I was working behind the chair, I realized I had this knack for using the numbers of what was happening in the salon to help myself and the girls around me and the salon owner to be able to hit our goals. And then suddenly I was being asked by the other girls in the salon, like, hey, can you help me do this? Like, can you help me hit my goals or understand my paycheck, understand what's happening here? And so I was teaching them how to use their numbers. I actually went to school because I wanted to open up my own hair salon. So I was in school thinking that I would spend my life making women feel beautiful. And there I realized that I, once again, had the knack for using numbers to help people understand what's happening today and how to get where we want to go. And so I spent a bulk of my career as a chief financial officer, helping mid-sized businesses, the CEOs, private equity firm, the investors, be able to use their numbers, make better business decisions, lead with data. And then I realized I can help make women feel confident and empowered by understanding their numbers. And so I started Kickstart Accounting to help business owners take the bookkeeping off of their plate and to understand their numbers. So very long-winded way of telling you why I love numbers, but it is because numbers are a tool to help us feel empowered.
I love that. And the numbers don't lie, right? We can get all emotional about money, but when we sit down and look at it, it's kind of like stepping on the scale. That's what we have to work with. Now we know knowledge is key. Knowledge is clarity. As you said, what can we do? How can we make better decisions around our money? I was on your social media, great content out there. You also have a podcast, right? Business by the Books, which is amazing information for women business owners to listen up. I'm curious, Danielle, what are some of those key mistakes us lady business owners are making when it comes to payroll, bookkeeping, all that good stuff?
Yeah. I'm going to lump everything into the number one mistake I see women business owners making is our mindset. It's the air quote, I'm too small. I'm not enough. So it might be, I'm not ready to hire a bookkeeper. My business is too small. I could just do it myself. I'm not ready to hire my next team member, my first team member, because this business, it's not big enough yet. I'm not enough. I'm scared to take money out of my business to pay myself because what if I'm not worth it, right? Like what if my business can't sustain that and my business isn't big enough? I'm not enough. And that limiting belief, that mindset that I'm not big enough yet is holding us back. And I would say number two, right behind that, and it's still mindset, is burying our head in the sand. My mom always said growing up, there's two things in life that are for sure. You're going to pay taxes and you're going to die. And we always laugh that somehow I became an accountant. But we act like we're so surprised every April that we need to file our taxes and that we need to know our numbers. And I want to flip that on its head, okay? We as business owners, we have the responsibility and the ability to become powerful, empowered, confident business owners. Like those emotions are real. And I want every single business owner to have access to bookkeeping, access to financial data so that they can understand their numbers throughout the year rather than making decisions at tax time.
That's the worst. Oh, I just switched because it was like once or twice a year I'd hear from them. And like, this needs to be proactively managed. I want to feel like I have support that is not all on me, trying to figure it out. And then I get upset if I didn't withhold enough or didn't send enough for estimated quarterly taxes. It's not a fun surprise.
It's not. We need to be looking at this stuff every single.
Yes, I love that. Everybody. And I hear that all the time too. I'm not big enough to commit to rent, to having my own office space, or to hiring somebody. That's too scary. I don't have enough. Maybe I hit that tier or that tier. And they stall out their growth too when you see that, and they're not valuing their business enough to make that investment.
Yeah. My best advice that I received. So I started Kickstart Accounting Inc. 11 years ago, which is crazy. But one of the pieces of advice I received when I first started was to start to be the CEO that I want to be in 10 years today. Right? So if you want to be the business owner who has a facility, who is making $1 million a year, who is has a large team, has purpose, has wealth, what are all the habits that you need to have in order to be that CEO? And I promise you, every CEO that I know, right? Like every successful CEO that I know, they know their numbers. They're not putting their head in the sand. They know that they need to look at that information. They have to have that tool in order to know what's working and what's not working so that they can continue to do that in the future and run a meaningful growth business.
I love the meaningful piece of it too. So where do you see opportunities for women business owners? What could they start to do?
The first thing is to commit, right? Like,
Mhm.
I want to give everyone permission to put down the shame. It's okay. It's okay that you didn't look at your numbers last year. It's okay that you are where you are today. Now that you've heard this episode, you get the opportunity to do things differently. And so today you can go find a money team that's going to help you understand your numbers. You are most likely, unless you're an accountant and you are educated in bookkeeping, you probably didn't go into business to be a bookkeeper. So you have the ability to put yourself in a role in your business that you are in your zone of genius. You get to wonder and set the vision and actually work in your business and have a team of people, whether it be your bookkeepers, your VAs, your financial advisor, your CPA. Allow those teams of people to do what they're good at so that you can step into your role as CEO. So when you are looking at your numbers, you're looking at when your bookkeeper sends you your financial statements, you're able to look at that as a CEO. When you're working with your financial advisor, you're able to look at your personal and financial wealth. When you're talking to your CPA, you can talk about tax strategy because you know where you've been. So my number one piece of advice right now, as you move forward, have bookkeeping in place so you have accurate numbers to look at every single month and commit to, I'm not going to put my head in the sand anymore. I'm going to know my numbers.
Amen. I love it. Commit, know the numbers, get engaged, have the right support and resources out there. And you're not too small. As you said before, Danielle, you're not too small to get started with it. Let's switch over to payroll. You get a lot of great posts about payroll. Are you paying yourself enough or not? What are the risks? Paying yourself incorrectly, things like that. Can you give us an idea? What are some of the common mistakes women are making with payroll? How can we fix those?
Yeah, I think the most common theme I see amongst business owners is not prioritizing paying yourself. And as an LLC, you have the ability to take owner's draws. So when you take an owner's draw, I consider this going into the cash ATM of your business. You're not paying taxes on those draws. So you can take cash out of your business via owner's draws to pay yourself. And I want to say this very clearly. You deserve to be paid. Your time is not free. You are building a business and you have to be paid. Now, back to what I was saying before, I want you to start building the habits of being a CEO that you want to be in the future. Because as you grow your business, you have tax strategies available to you. And one of the best tax strategies out there is the ability to be taxed as an S Corp. So you as a business owner, once you have $75,000 a year of net income for 2 years, once you are paying yourself a regular owner's draws, and you have completely separated your business and personal finances, you could start to think about becoming an S Corp. So as an LLC, if you are not paying yourself today, you can't become an S Corp. Because as an S Corp, you have to pay yourself a reasonable compensation. It's not a Danielle rule. It's not a Kickstart accounting rule. This is an IRS rule. The IRS says you have to pay yourself a reasonable compensation. And so you need to start putting those practices in today so that once you're making $75,000 a year in net income for more than 2 years, you can implement that tax strategy. You can become an S Corp, pay yourself as an employee of your business. And these are, in my opinion, where the biggest wealth building strategies begin is when you become an S Corp. You're on payroll. You're building a business that shows stability, that shows wealth. You have the ability to go get a car loan, a home loan, take on debt in your business, take on investors, possibly sell your business. And so I want us to set up today for the long road so you have all those options available to you.
Oh, that is great. So after 2 years of having $75,000 of income, you can move over to becoming an S Corp, but you have to be paying yourself.
You have to be paying yourself. It's like the diet rule. I promise you, just like you're not going on a diet on Monday, you're not going to become an S Corp and suddenly start paying yourself. If you don't have. Yeah. If you don't have cash today, you're not going to have cash that.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to take a quick break to take a look at the Pick Fix merch, but stay with us because we're going to go into now. I have my expenses. I know my numbers. What are my next steps? What can I start to be going through? So stay with us and Danielle. Welcome to the Pink Fix Shop, where rebels, trailblazers, and legacy builders find their voice in every sip, stitch, and page. From best-selling teas to manifesting mugs, every item is designed to spark conversation and celebrate your story. Start building your legacy in style, only at pinkfixproductions.com. We are back with Danielle Hayden, and we're going to talk about, we've been focusing in on committing to knowing your numbers, getting engaged, finding the right support behind you, the taxation differences between an S Corp and an LLC, starting to pay yourself, ladies, and probably give yourself a raise. We really undervalue our worth, especially with our own businesses too. Now, let's say, Danielle, I'm sitting with you. We're going through my profit and loss statement for last year, and I overspent, let's say. What should I start to do? What's my next step?
Yeah. So I want to start with, there's kind of 4 money personality types. Our overspenders tend to be what I call our free spenders. So our free spenders, they're not looking at the financial statements before they go and spend money. They are spending on those things that are in the vision right now. And so if you're somebody who's a free spender and you're looking at your financials last year, I want you to think about how you spent and what worked and what didn't work. Just because you spent money doesn't mean that it didn't have value and impact in your business. What we actually see more often is our keepers. Now, our keepers, they'll come on to financial review calls. So for all of our clients, we do what we call a financial review call. So after we send them their financial statements, our clients have the ability to book a call with our team. And so they get to the call, and I'm talking shoulders up to your ears, like, oh my God, like brace, like, all right, just show me, like, just tell me what it is. And I'm like, they're all expecting for me to say that you need to cut back. We have been so programmed by society that women are overspenders. The Amazon packages,
Girl math.
Girl math. Yes. Oh my God, that one was terrible. But we are programmed to think that we are overspending. So now we go into our business, and what do? We keep it. We hoard it because we're so afraid that we're going to spend on the wrong areas in business. And I want to encourage everyone, you can spend money in according to your season. So I'm going to explain what that means. If you have committed this year to be a growth season in your business, so you want to grow top line revenue, then when I look at your profit and loss statement, I should see spending that aligns with that goal.
Sure.
So I should see spending in your advertising and marketing. Around 10% of your sales should be spent in advertising and marketing. Too often I hear people say, I'm growing this business. All right, show me your P&L. I'll tell you what your priorities really are.
It's so true. Right? Everybody wants to grow. Nobody wants to put the money behind the growth.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to encourage you that if you feel like you were overspending last year, I want you to actually look at the numbers, because that's the other thing that'll happen. We'll have clients come to their financial review call and they're like, man, I just feel like things have been so slow. I just feel like I've spent so much money. And then we look at the numbers and we're like, you grew. Your revenue went up last quarter compared to last year, compared to last quarter. Like, you're up. You just adapted to the chaos. Your nervous system has now adapted to the chaos. And so it feels slower. And so when you're looking at your P&L, think, what was my goal for this year? What was my season that I'm in? If I want to be home with my family every day, I want to pick up my kids at 3:00. I want time freedom. Then I should see outside services and payroll in your income statement. Right? We need a team to help us support that business. So no shame. This is a tool in our toolbox to align to where we want to go in our lives.
That's beautiful. You might be building your infrastructure. That's going to be a lot of upfront costs. Maybe it's new office space, hiring somebody, investing in technology. We did last year a succession plan. So that was an investment. We had attorney fees that aren't typical. And you said the growth. This is very typical for advisors. Everybody wants to grow, but nobody wants to put, they're like, it's going to cost that much money to run the seminar or to do this. But getting into that practice of going through and being accountable to, here's the income, here's the growth, right? Here's the expenses. So it could actually see, is it working or not working? To your point, what worked, what didn't work. I loved in your one video, you said, is it a hell yes? If it's not a hell yes, then it's a get rid of it. Cut the fat.
Firm no.
If it's not a hell yes,
Firm no.
and it's great as a really like you, Danielle, and your team to hold them accountable to it as well. Why are we still spending? And it might not be money. It could also be their time. I remember hearing about an advisor and he did a weekly, like detailed market report that he sent out. It took hours of this time. Did it move the needle for his clients? No. Barely any of them read it. So like, well, why don't we do one a month instead of one a week or one a quarter? So the handful who read it, they still get it, but it's not sucking your time. And then you're having to hire out for all the other things that you're doing too. So I think just doing that audit is so healthy.
Yeah. This is why I said we have to be looking at our numbers every single month. So our clients receive their financial statements at the end of every single month. And I want to encourage every business owner, when you are sitting down to look at your spending, we should be able to do that as a CEO. So we're coming in at a high level to look at our numbers, where we spent money. And then to have a money team to say, hold on, do you feel slow? What do the numbers actually say? Oh, you shared with me your goals were to grow, but I don't see that in your income statement. Having that team to support you and to call out what the goals originally were. You need a financial advisor, you need a bookkeeper, and you need a tax accountant. You need that team to be able to say, hey, this is what you declared to me at the beginning of the year. And are we still moving the needle towards that declaration? We have to look at the financial statements every single month to ensure that we're getting there.
I would say it feels so supportive when you have that. Which you start off and, am I making the right decision? Will this one decision bankrupt me? Right? We're always here. Am I going to have to shut the doors because I can't keep moving forward? When you don't feel that pressure of making every decision by yourself when it comes to the money, that is huge. Danielle, that is huge. Well, we have one more very important question for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
You know, when I started this business 11 years ago, what I realized was that I want to show my daughter, who is 20 now, that women have a seat at the table, that we are capable of growing a business, showing up as a CEO, leading a team, having difficult conversations. And what I get to do in this business is so incredible. I get to go and wake up every single day and help our clients understand their numbers. And when they understand their numbers, they can hire, they can show their daughters. Like, think about the number of daughters that we have gotten to impact by touching thousands of clients over the years. Right? Like, each one of our clients, even if they didn't have a daughter, the team member that they hired, the community that they inspired, it just has this beautiful spiderweb effect that gets me really lit up and excited to come into this business every single day.
That's incredible. And half of my team are single moms, and they're putting in the work and they're showing up. And I read, and this made me feel better when I first had my daughter, and then I had my son. You feel guilty. You have that mom guilt. I'm working. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My husband's mom stayed at home for a period of time. Am I doing the right thing? And I was also taught growing up, you can either have choose your family or choose your career. That's what my mother instilled in me. So it constant inner conflict. And then I heard women whose mom worked earn about 25% more. It's like, oh, we are showing them something here. By having something for us to bringing money to the table, being part of the financial conversations too, as you point, know your numbers, it does make a difference. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, of course.
That is huge. Well, you've hit it on a lot, from knowing your numbers in order to hit your numbers, to hit your goals. You need to know them. the accountability, having check-ins monthly, quarterly, annually. See, am I doing what I said I wanted to do? I remember having a conversation with my father, and he was really upset that he didn't hit his goals. But did you do anything to try to hit the goals? And we chugged it down. Well, did you get on the phone with this many people every single day? I didn't. Like, well, then you can't really be mad. You didn't put anything behind that. It was just kind of this idea in your head for it. But having that support. What else did we say? I have so many notes from this too. Putting 10% of your revenue towards sales, marketing activities if you really want to grow, as you say. Paying yourself, the taxation difference between the S Corp and the LLC. I mean, so many. This is just a great, powerful conversation for women business owners. Where can everybody find you, Danielle?
Kickstart Accounting Inc. Is our website. You can listen to our podcast, Business by the Books, and on Instagram, it's Kickstart Accounting.
Amazing. And you are not too small to engage with Danielle.
Oh, you are not too small. We start working with clients at the very beginning. I am on a mission to bring access to women, and you are never too small to get support. We have a lot of solopreneurs that we're working with. And then as you grow, we grow with you. Our CFO clients are doing $1 million in sales plus, and our bookkeeping clients are starting, less than $100,000 a year in revenue. So get the support that you need so that you can grow your business.
Exactly. Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Danielle, for being on here and sharing your wisdom, your specialty, and all these amazing strategies for ladies.
Thank you.
And thank you all to our Money Queens tuning in to another episode of Women Behind the Million. Stay tuned because She Nailed It is on right after us. And we'll have another amazing episode next week. See you then. Bye, ladies. Hey, Money Queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money tips.